All right, let's see here. We have Jeff, Superior, Wisconsin, the great WDSM. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mark. Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to address your comment with regards to taxes and Obamacare. My wife and I, we are middle-income Americans. We do not hit the 250,000 mark, but you are exactly right, is that Obamacare is hitting us with regards to taxes. Recently, we just filled out our benefits for 2013 with regards to flex spending, and we're appalled to find out that our flex spending went down to 2,500.
I didn't hear that. Your what spending?
Our flex spending, our medical flex spending,
right,
is now limited to 2,500, where before we could.
All right, I want to explain. This is a health care account, correct?
It is a flex spending account, a Cafe 125 plan.
Right.
And what that is it's money that we can set aside before taxes
to pay for your own health care.
To pay for our own health care, to pay for our co-pays with insurance, to pay for prescription drugs.
And they slashed it.
And they slashed it. And so now, more of my income is going to be exposed to taxes.
Right.
You know, and it is alarming. And, you talk about our nut job senator, Tammy Baldwin.
Oh, boy, you have a brand new nut job in her.
I tell you what, I called her office to say, hey, listen, what's going on with this? You guys ran a campaign on lower taxes for middle-income Americans, and here I am, middle-income American, and I'm getting hit now with a higher percentage, more of my income being exposed to taxes. And the answer I got is, well, we're in a transition state. I said, wait a minute. Granted, yes, when you were the representative, you did not represent my district. But your hands were all over that legislation. Now you are my senator. Irregardless that you're in a transition.
Jeff, see, she just got elected. She's cocky as hell, like all of them. It's gone to her head. She thinks she has a mandate to do more of this. Now, let me tell you something, Jeff, not to upset you further. You ain't seen nothing yet. Because on the other end are the providers and the service you're going to get. You're going to have less health care dollars, and you're going to have more taxes, and you're going to have less health care or medical benefits. And I have an article here, and I talked about it before, where hospitals are trying to figure out how to deal with this new rule in Obamacare where you are penalized a huge amount of money as a hospital for patients who return within 30 days. So obviously they're doing everything they can to make sure patients don't return within 30 days, even if the patient should return within 30 days, because that's now a mandate from on high. Now let me ask you a question, Jeff. This has negatively affected your life, obviously, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on. So who wrote this?
We
don't know who wrote this. We don't know their names.
Right.
Is this representative government?
No, and the other thing I wanted to mention to you is I wanted to thank you for introducing me to Milton Friedman. And Milton Friedman talked about it in his Free to Choose episodes, where he sat there and he walked through the Congressional Library, and he had all of those regulations stacked up, and he showed from as the years gone by the volumes and volumes of regulations that we have to live by now, and it is appalling.
And that program in Free to Choose came out in the mid-'70s. I think it was 76, thereabouts. You know what's going on today is 100 times worse?
It's 100 times worse, but yet it's just as applicable.
Here's the problem. Just think of it from a mathematical standpoint. The bureaucracy gets bigger and bigger. What does the bureaucracy do?
The bureaucracy makes rules.
Okay, so the bureaucracy gets bigger and bigger and issues more and more rules. When does this end? Never.
It never
and so every minute aspect of your life is becoming regulated. In other words, I like to say that the federal government was supposed to be innocuous, but it's ubiquitous. It's absolutely unbelievable, the extent to which now the government regulates things. And I don't see how it's going to get any better when the bureaucracy gets bigger and bigger and more rules are being spit out. You know, there's a point at which I feel like we're regulated enough. Maybe we don't need some more laws for a while. We need a respite. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And not only that, you look at the kinds of regulations that you have. You have rules upon rules upon rules, or benefits upon benefits upon benefits. And what I mean by that is you take a look at the SNAP program or the food assistance program. Okay. Now, granted, there are people out there that need food assistance, and I get that. Okay. But if we're providing them food assistance,
50 million,
and helping them with their food, is it too much to ask for them to make lunches for their kids? If they're already getting assistance,
yes, good point.
And thus we're paying for their groceries, why are we also giving them free lunches? Why are we also giving them free breakfasts at the school?
Well, listen, you're quite right. It's a brilliant point.
I don't have any more time than anybody else, but yet I get up every morning and I make my kids lunch. It's not a great lunch, granted. I mean, they're not eating steak and lobster. They're eating peanut butter and jelly and chips. But it's a lunch, and they're getting by.
Listen, that's a dinner for me. All right, Jeff, thank you for your call, my friend. Excellent call. Really good call. And he's right. It's a good point. You're getting food stamps. Why are we giving your kids lunches? Can't you make them a sandwich? Oh, boy. And my God, can you imagine if a politician proposed that? They'd be beat up by people at National Review and the Weekly Standard. Hey, you can't do that.